Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the Judiciary, and me, Tony Capezza, State Director of the International Brotherhood of Police Officers. As you are aware, the IBPO represents 28 of the 38 police departments in the state. I come before you today on behalf of my 28 locals in support of the concept of this bill. I don't necessarily agree that it should be a felony, but I do believe, as the rep was talking to Representative Hall earlier, it probably should be a misdemeanor. Now, we've heard a lot about civil rights. What we haven't heard about is the safety aspect of this. I believe everybody has the right to protest. I believe everybody has the right to exercise their civil rights. I don't believe you have the right to block an interstate highway. And the reason why I don't believe you have the right to do that is because of the safety factor. Your right don't give you the right to pose a life and death situation for somebody else. And that's what you're doing in reality. We saw it happen in Boston. It could happen very well in Providence, where somebody's in cardiac arrest in the back of a rescue, and that rescue can't get to the hospital that's best equipped to handle it. But just as importantly, how about the police officers and firefighters that are required to be out on that highway? As we all know, nobody drives 55 miles an hour on 95. And it's very difficult to stop a car where you've got an operator that may not be paying attention the way they should be. At any time, any one of those protesters, police officer, the firefighters, or the general public that is stopped in traffic could be hit and seriously injured by a driver that is not paying attention. And that's why I support the concept of this bill, whether it be a felony or a misdemeanor, is because what they are doing is putting my people in jeopardy. And I don't believe anybody has the right to jeopardize the safety of any other person. And I don't remember reading anywhere in the Constitution where it gives you that right. To exercise your right to ignore the safety and the placing of somebody else in a situation that could be extremely hazardous to them. So, for those reasons mainly, we support this bill in some form, whether it be this form or representative the bill which makes it a misdemeanor. So, I'd like to answer any questions.
Any questions for Representative?
Mr. Capezza, were you in the room when Andrew Horowitz was testifying? And you heard that 5 protesters in the I-95 situation were arrested and charged with a misdemeanor. That's not enough?
No, I think we should have a bill that specifically relates to this issue. Disorderly conduct, and you can verify, is a broad bill that takes into a lot of different things. And I'm not even sure, and you would know better than me, but there have been many a times when defense attorneys have used it against us to win cases where disorderly didn't apply. Because in the statute it says you have to be loud. One of the things is loud and tumultuous behavior. Okay? If you're just sitting there and you're not screaming, that may not be considered disorderly conduct. And many a times we did have cases thrown out because we couldn't prove that the person was tumultuous. But what this bill does, and I agree that it's broadly written, where somebody's just an individual standing in the street could be charged under this. I think the intent of the bill is really blocking these highways. And that's why I said I'm in favor of the concept of it, not necessarily this bill.
Mr. Horowitz was shaking his head as he spoke about a person could be sitting there not loud. It looked to me like he was shaking his head that being loud was not a necessary part of disorderly conduct. Mr. Chairman, can I ask?
Yes, oh, of course,
Can I ask Mr. Horowitz to?
Can it wait, because it's my intention to call the professor up in a little while if he's still here, and willing.
Yes, I can wait. Thank you.
Any further questions for Tony?
Good evening once again, Mr. Chairman, honorable members of the committee. I'm going to be very brief. Once again, my organization does support this bill, and I support it for all the same reasons that I did in the last testimony. I'd just like to clarify one point and answer a question from this gentleman. As far as the breakdown lane being open for traffic, or it may or may not have been, but what they don't realize, and Representative Alameda can probably confirm this, when you're on major interstate highways like 95 or 295, and even if it's an accident, you have to close down all lanes, especially when you got pedestrians out of their cars in the middle of the road. And the reason for that being, I'm sure there's many people in this room that have sat in a traffic jam where there's been an accident, and some operator decides he's going to fly down in the breakdown lane because he doesn't want to wait in traffic. For that reason, you put a police car in that lane to shut that lane down also, to make sure anybody that does come flying down that breakdown lane can't get, in this case, they were protesters, can't get to where there's physically human beings on the road with it. So, as I stated before, it would have hindered a rescue. And it's great to say that you can reroute a rescue, but as we all know in traffic jams like that, everybody else is also trying to get off the exits, which again, due to the size of a rescue, it's not as easy to maneuver through it as it is with a police car. I have nothing further to testify to. I'll answer any questions you may have.
Thank you, Tony. Any questions? Representative Solomon.
Tony, I'm not sure if you have an answer to this question, but how long did it take traffic to subside after the protesters were removed from the highway?
I don't know. Providence is not one of the departments we represent, so all I know is what I've read in the newspaper. But as you yourself know, when you're in traffic on your way to work and you've heard of an accident that is just cleared, how long it takes for that traffic to recuperate after the fact. So,
Thank you.
Thank you. And Representative Kaufman.
Thank you, Chairman. One quick question. The testimony related question, the breakdown lane was left open by the protesters. Nobody heard testimony of the state police use that to come down and get to the site of the law. Did the state police, do you know, shut down the breakdown lane at that point?
I do not know.
Any further questions? Thank you, Tony. Could we hear from Malchus Moles?